everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Natalie. In today's video, we are going to be reviewing the SONY ZV-1F camera from the perspective of a content creator. If you're looking for a proper review here on YouTube, if you want to start your content creator journey, I'm going to help you out. I've had this camera for about a year now, and I wanted to give it enough time before I gave a proper review. I did post a shorts on this camera when I first got it, and ever since then it's gotten 429.2 thousand views. So a lot of people that have subscribed to my channel and that have viewed that video came from that original video wanting to learn more about this camera, but I still wanted to give it enough time and try it out, learn what I liked about it, what I didn't, what features I like using on here, and all my advice. I'm going to share that now in this video. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Natalie. I'm a content creator. I make beauty, lifestyle, self-growth, faith content, all of the things. I'm originally from New York, so if all of those things sound appealing, make sure to subscribe and stick around. Let's get into this review. So this quality and audio that you're hearing right now is from the camera itself. This is a camera that I use to film my YouTube videos, and I only use this camera to film long form YouTube videos. I could use it for short form videos, but I haven't gotten to that just because I like using my iPhone for short form and this camera for long form. For reference, I have the iPhone 13 Pro. Just to give you a backstory, I started making YouTube videos using my phone, and I would make my videos with it. I would edit on my MacBook Pro, but it did get to a point where I didn't have much storage. I really wanted to dedicate more time and effort to YouTube, so that is why I got this camera. And I got this camera originally, I wanted the popular Canon G7X, but that one is pretty expensive. That one is getting harder by the days and by the years to find and honestly pay for, because that one is getting pretty expensive. This one, however, I feel like retails for about 400 or 500. I will put the accurate number on the screen. And they say that this camera is made specifically for content creators because of the video quality and how smooth it is. I will say that that is true. This camera quality for video is amazing. However, I do have some points that I'm gonna get into that are cons that I don't like about this camera, and then I'll get into later the comparison between the iPhone quality versus this camera quality. I will be in different chapters of this video that you can go ahead and click and move on to if you really want to get into different specifics of this camera. Let's go ahead and get into the pros and cons. I have my list right here, so if I'm looking down, I'm looking at everything that I wrote down about this camera. Let's start off with the pros. How I mentioned, it does have a smooth video quality. The videos that I have taken with this, especially with proper lighting like how I have here, I have 3 different lights going on, looks so amazing. The quality looks so good, and there are different quality resolutions that you can click onto that will change how crisp and clear it is. I always have mine, I believe, on 4K 30 frames per second, which is also what I have it on my iPhone, so it always looks crystal clear, and I love that. The price point is a pro, so I feel like if you're beginning and you do want to commit to a camera, the price point for this one is really good. It's affordable. It's something that you can realistically save up for and get for yourself, whereas the Canon G7X I know is really popular and a lot of people have it. It isn't really possible for many people in terms of finances. It is a more expensive camera, although I will say that that one has a lot of good things that this camera does not. So if you want, just make yourself a pros and cons list. If it's going to take you a little bit longer to save up for, keep all that in mind, but I feel like to start out, this is a good one. And just a reminder, if you're on your content creator journey and you do want a camera, you do not have to start off with a camera. You can definitely start off with iPhone. iPhone qualities are so good for video. This is what I use to make my TikToks, any videos that you see on my shorts. The quality on this is amazing, especially with the extra lighting like how I have here. It's really good. You can honestly start off and you can even make quick YouTube videos with this. The one thing that I will say is that it takes up a lot of space. If you really want to get intricate and make long form videos, then having all of that on your phone could be a headache. That's why I decided to separate both. But to start off, you can definitely start off with your iPhone, and it's a piece of advice that many people give, and me on my content creator experience, now that I've been doing this for years, I could agree to it and say you don't need a camera to begin. But if you really want to commit to it and it does become a headache, then go ahead and start thinking about the camera. The settings on this camera as well are really easy to use if you're not familiar with using cameras. I am, just because back in college I did classes on production, so I'm really familiar with camera settings. I've always been into tech. I work in social media, so I know a lot about this camera, and the format of it is really similar to other cameras, professional cameras, digital cameras, so you will get the hang of it once you just start messing with the menu and reading up on things. It's pretty easy to get familiar with. Okay, we're gonna get into the cons. I have a long list for this. One, I love this camera for video, but I don't like it for photos. This camera does not come with a flash, and I feel like that is the biggest miss, the biggest headache, because I would love to use my camera for both video and photo. However, this one is just not the best option in my opinion. I don't grab this camera when it comes to taking pictures, and I would love to take more pictures, but I find myself using my iPhone to take pictures like for my thumbnail and things as such. This camera, I will show different examples of pictures that I've taken with it. The flash I did have to buy separately, which that's another piece of expense that I need to commit to in my content creator journey and also onto this camera. I wish that it just had it attached, but I think that this camera with photos, the quality comes out so fuzzy. It's not super crystal clear like how you see it in this video. It does look different when it comes to photos, and it's not my preference as to how the photo looks. You might not be that technical with photos, but for me, I definitely notice how photos look, and the quality is just not my favorite. Even with the attached flash, yes, it does look better, but the flash itself is pretty it's just an extra step and an extra annoyance to have to think about, because now I need to think about the camera and the flash itself separately, but both together. It's a big deal breaker for me. And honestly, I might get myself in the future the Canon G7X. I really do want to get that camera eventually and just have, like, you know, different options and a different setup for my creator experience. Or you could even use a digital camera that comes with a flash. I feel like even that camera has a better photo quality than this one, so I don't mind it. I have different cameras. I have my iPhone that I can use to take photos, but I love this camera specifically and only for video. On that note, with the flash, I feel like this camera needs extra accessories that's gonna add on more to the expense. It might be something that you're like okay with, you know, I'll just buy it, or it might be something that you consider. This camera's battery dies quickly. Like, I could only get maybe about 30 minutes. How long has this video been? This video has been running for 13 minutes now. I'll give it until 30 minutes and then the battery is gone. Also, keep in mind that if you're out in the heat, or if you're just out and about taking clips, constantly turning your camera on and off, pressing the record button on and off constantly, then that is going to run your battery quickly. I believe that this camera only came with one battery. So I've had to order over time extra batteries on Amazon. I have a collection of, I don't even know how many, probably 6 batteries, because when one dies, I put in the other so I can keep recording, and then I charge it right away. It's a whole system, so keep in mind that this camera comes with one battery and you need multiple because it does die very fast. Now I'm gonna get into how the camera looks itself. So this is a con for me, but I feel like over time I've gotten used to it and it doesn't bother me anymore, is where the viewfinder is placed. So if you're familiar with the Canon G7X, the viewfinder is flipped up above the camera lens. This one is flipped out to the side and to the right side. So when you're recording, this is me looking at the camera, and then this is me looking at the viewfinder. It's off to the side. It might look like I'm looking very far away, but I'm looking right next to the camera. That is something that it felt pretty annoying doing, because I want to look directly this way. Even if I have the viewfinder up a little bit, my eyes just are in the same line of sight, just up, and then this way is just like my eyes are looking this way. If I take off my glasses, you might know what I'm saying, but I'm looking at the camera, and then the viewfinder for the G7X is up here, and the viewfinder for this camera is off to the side. So whenever I'm looking off to the side, I'm looking at the viewfinder. Like how I said, I have gotten used to it, and I feel like from where I'm sitting and with my glasses on. It is a pretty good size. I see all the settings, I see how much the battery is at, I see if I'm recording or not, I see how long I've been recording, so it looks good. It doesn't look too tiny where I feel like I have to squint, so that doesn't bother me now, but it is something to keep in mind. Okay, on to the fun part. I'm going to be doing a comparison between the Sony ZV-1F and my iPhone 13 Pro. So now I'm recording at the same time. This is the Sony ZV-1F and the audio attached to it. And this is the iPhone 13 Pro with the audio. We're going to do side by side so that you can see the difference and how it looks and how it sounds. I will say that this iPhone is amazing. And this is my camera handheld now. I'm gonna move it around freely because it was on my tripod previously. But this is my filming setup and my filming background. The stabilization on this I feel like isn't bad. I feel like it doesn't wobble around much, especially if you work with it with a stable hand. Now we're going to look at the camera itself without me recording on it. This is my decked out Sony ZV-1F. It does come already with this mic puff attached to it, which you can detach as well. This just helps out with the audio quality, and if you're outside in the wind, if you like recording lifestyle content, then this helps out. I always keep it on, I never take it off. And then I have this brown case that I got from Amazon. I got myself some brown, and just to protect the outside, got this brown cover. This is the back of the camera, this is the top. I am gonna take off the cover so that you can see everything and how it comes originally. And then this is the other side to it. It also comes with its own cover. I recommend that you keep this on always whenever you're not using it, or whenever you're done using it, please put the cap back on because you don't want to scratch the lens. You can always buy a replacement for this, but I always just have mine on. So now this is a camera without the case, top, back, and then this is the bottom. So one thing about this camera is that it has here this button that when you're recording it turns red, but I do not like that. I don't like letting other people know that I'm recording, especially if I'm outside. I feel like that's a little bit weird. Only I need to know when I'm recording. So I took kind of like this sticker and I covered it with Sharpie and I placed it on top of that button there. But I'm just gonna take it off so that you can see what it actually looks like. That's what it actually looks like. And then when you're recording, it'll look like this and it'll have a red button on it. I like the camera isn't picking up how strong that red is, but it is very visible, so that's why I cover mine with this sticker here, and then you can barely see that. Of course, I'm the only person that knows that I am recording, and then as I'm recording I'll know because it has this red lining, so that just helps me out. This is a top without the mic puff. You have the on and off button, the button for different modes. So if you're taking pictures, if you're taking video, and if you're taking slow-mo, you have to be very careful with this because I've cut off YouTube videos from editing because I've taken the whole thing on slow-mo. So please be careful and please mind this. And they're all right next to each other, so the more that you get familiar with it, the more that you know. This is the record button. This I guess is like the landscape button. I don't really touch this one. This is the button that you're going to use when taking photos. So this is for video, this is for photo. I have a cover on my screen, a protective shield that I got from Amazon. It already has a little crack, so always protect your screen on whatever equipment you have. And these are buttons on the camera here, and this is what the camera will look like once it's on. So we have the battery, the quality, the frames per second, how much it's zoomed in. This button right here is for the zoom. Go in, you go out. One feature that I love about this camera, because it comes in very handy, especially since I do a lot of beauty content and I feature a lot of products, is this button right here. It's called the products CC set, so you can either turn it off or on. This is gonna help out when you have a product right in front of the camera to focus on it. This is the best feature I find on this camera. Have the exposure, the ISO, the focus mode, audio level, steady shot. So this is gonna help out with how steady the recording looks. I always have this on and never off because I always want my videos to be steady, so I just never have it off. The soft skin effect, I have it off, but this is kind of like a filter similar to the one on TikTok where it smooths your skin out. I always have everything off, even on TikTok, because I don't want it to affect the integrity of my videos. So that's something that you can turn on, but I have it off. White balance, creative look, picture profile, and then shoot mode. There's just a whole bunch of different settings in here that I never move around. It's just always on the regular kind. I don't have many different settings when it comes to this camera that I'm always switching out. I will say that when I am taking pictures with this, if I do decide to take pictures with it, then I am very mindful of the exposure because I don't want it to look too bright. This piece on the bottom is for tripods, or like this one, you have a tripod base, which I use for my long form videos. Then you just kind of screw this in on the bottom and you place it like that on your tripod. This right here is for the battery and the SD card, so you just slide it over, have your battery, and you have your SD card right here that you'll just clip out and replace. Another cool feature that I love about this camera is that it connects to an app on your phone called the Creators app, where you can see everything that your camera is seeing. You can check out the menu, you can record and stop it, and you can zoom in from here as well. I like using this feature whenever I'm recording from far away and I can't see my viewfinder. You can also use this app to import any videos and photos from the camera itself directly onto your phone, so it just makes everything a lot easier, and it's just a helpful little hack that you have. Thank you guys so much for enjoying this video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know if you want to see some of my favorite accessories next. Much love, and I'll see you on the next one.